Good evening, everyone. Welcome into the Confident Autistic live stream. I am your host, the Confident Autistic, Chris Mitchell. And if my wife is watching, I have my ball's not in here. I need to find my ball. And so I don't know. It could be in the living room. I'm looking for my ball, my needle ball. Anyway, so welcome in. How is everyone doing? I don't have anything in my hand to play with. It's driving me up the wall. Uh, this is a new night, Tuesday night for the Confident Autistic live stream, and this is our topic tonight is embracing your autistic strengths. We're going to be getting into that tonight. But first, let's get things started by going through this and introducing myself to you. So, hey, define yourself first. Welcome to the Confident Autistic live stream. I am the Confident Autistic, aka Chris Mitchell from theconfidentautistic.com. Now, for those of you who do not know me, I am a late diagnosed autistic adult who is a multi-certified confidence life coach serving the adult autism community. Thank you. Thank you. My wife just came through for me. I am on a mission to empower you to discover, develop, and grow the skills that you need to live confidently autistic. So, whether you're newly diagnosed, self identifying, or just exploring the possibility that yes, you are autistic, this space is for you. Now, before we get into tonight's open Q&A on anything related to autism and or confidence or about the topic we're talking about tonight, confidence building, we are going to be talking about embracing your unique strengths, how to recognize and celebrate your autistic traits. And I'm inviting you to join in the conversation in the live chat. So let's get the chat rolling. And by asking you to share where you are and what is your favorite autism characteristic or trait. It could be that you're really good at noticing patterns. It could be that you, I don't know, uh, really enjoy being alone. Whatever that trait is, share that in this chat, and I'll be taking a look at those in a moment. My favorite is I truly enjoy alone time. It's one of my favorite things. I just enjoy it so much that I kind of prefer to be alone. So that is what is coming up tonight. I'm doing something here behind the scenes. So just give me a moment here. We're trying something new tonight. That will work. Yes, it will. Okay, let me do that. Okay, so let's get back to this. So while I'm waiting for your answers coming here, I'm joining you live from my home office in the southwest corner of Missouri, and I think one of my favorite traits is the like being alone and I enjoy spending time with relaxation music. I don't know if this really a trait or not, but I enjoy doing that. Now, while you're sharing your answers in the chat, which I'll be checking that out in a moment, let me tell you what's going on here. We're kind of in a restructuring here. We moved the uh, Confident Autistic live stream from Thursday nights to Tuesday nights. We're trying a different night. We're seeing how that works, and we're kind of doing a different format. So that's going on. We have some great stuff coming up this fall. We're going to be launching a brand new podcast. I'll talk more about that in the coming weeks. And we're going to be putting more videos up. I'm finally trying to get my life organized. Now, it's quieted down here. Now, I want to just explain something. And I don't think it's going to happen because I think they're pretty much done for the day. If you hear any noise in the background, my house is not falling down on me. Okay, I can assure you of that because we are getting a new roof put on today. So that is what is going on around here. So if you hear any noises or if I seem distracted, it's the noise that's going on outside. So that is our plans for this evening. So I noticed no one's chatting with me right now. That's fine. That's cool. Whatever you're comfortable with, your comfort level is important. There's no judgment here. So, but go ahead and chat in there. And during this live event tonight, if you have any questions, pop them into the chat, and I will answer them later on during our open Q&A. So let's keep the conversation going. And while we diving into embrace your unique strengths, how to recognize and celebrate your autistic traits. Share your thoughts and any questions you have in the chat, and stick around to the very end. And that's when I'm going to react and respond to any comments you have, any questions you have, as well as answering any questions, because we'll do open Q&A about autism and or confidence building. So that'll be coming up a little bit later on this evening. But for now, it's all about recognizing the beauty of your neurodivergent mind and learning to not just accept, but truly celebrate your unique autistic traits. So let's get started. Now, why all of this matters, and this is important. We need to acknowledge the journey that we're on as autistic adults. If you're anything like me, you may have spent a large part of your life masking, trying to fit in, or even wondering what is wrong with you. Like, and then somewhere along the line, you heard the word autistic, and something clicked. Suddenly, things make sense. But with that understanding often comes a mix of relief, grief, and confusion. And I want to share my own story on this. I shared it in other videos and other events. And I've had a challenging life. Many of us have, who are late diagnosed or self-identify as autistic. And a few years back, my great nephew came over and spent some time with us in the morning as while his mom worked. And now my great nephew at the time, I think was like 3 or 4 years old. And had been officially diagnosed on the spectrum at this point. And I did a lot of research so we could learn how to communicate and help him and support him as being an autistic child in our home. And between that research and noticing things that he was doing, I started saying, I used to do that when I was a kid. I still do that today. And that started my own journey. Now, to make a long story short, I wound up talking to my doctor about some of the symptoms I was having. Did not even bring up the word autism. And she said, oh, that's not uncommon for someone on the spectrum. She encouraged me to get screened. I got screened. I had my diagnosis. And it was a relief, because a lot of things that happened in my life that were not making sense to me suddenly started to make sense. And there was relief. It's like, yes, I'm not an alien. I'm a wonderful person. There's an explanation for all of this. But there's also grief. And I'm, in my case, a little bit envy, because I was like, all these years, nobody knew. And I was a little envious because my nephew got diagnosed a lot earlier, my great nephew, and he's going to get the support I did not get. And I'm happy for him, okay? And not that I'm jealous, but a little envious because I wish I had. And the way that I dealt with this is I felt a little bit confused. Like, why didn't somebody notice this earlier? And I had to reconcile it. And I had to reconcile it in a way that helped me accept it. Because what it is, let's be honest, I'm up in the years. I'm back in my day when I was younger. We did not know anywhere the amount of information we know about autism today. So I got to understand and accept the fact that even though people did not know at the time, I like to think that if we knew then what we know now, I may have been diagnosed earlier and would have gotten the help. And it did make me feel a little bit confused and trying to figure out who my new identity is. And that's something that is important. We need to know our identities, and that helps us have confidence. Today, I want to offer you a different perspective. If you're struggling with your autism, I want you to realize we are not broken. We we are always brilliant. We're just wired differently. So you were never broken, just brilliantly wired. There's nothing wrong with us. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with me because we're on the spectrum. It's just who we are. And that's fine. The world needs us because if everyone was autistic and neurotypical, this would be a pretty boring planet, okay? And I wouldn't want to hang out here. Now, let's talk about recognizing your unique strengths. And that's what it is. Your autistic traits are strengths. Now, let's talk about these traits that people often misunderstand about autism because they're not weaknesses, they are superpowers in the right environments. And the first is hyperfocus. And this focuses on mastery and innovation. Now, you may have been told that you get too obsessed with things, but this deep focus is what helps you master subjects, create, and innovate. And that's not a flaw, that's a gift. So if you get hyper focused, don't look at it as a negative. It's a positive in the right environment. Pattern recognitions. Many of us on the spectrum spot patterns others miss, whether in data, behavior, or systems. And that's a powerful analytical ability. And when I was younger, I'm visually impaired, but I was still able to do this. I was able to tell the pattern by watching TV when the commercial breaks were going to come and when they were done with the commercial breaks and going to go back to the program. I could even tell you when, like watching primetime TV, when the network commercials were over and when the local commercials were going to come in. Because between the commercials, for a split second, you got to watch real carefully. Back in the day, it's different today, but back in the day, back in the 70s and 80s, the black background, the black spots they had between the commercials, which I don't think they have anymore because they're cramming so many in, would change to a different shade of black, a different shade of gray. And that told me, okay, commercials over, going back to the program, or vice versa. And I noticed that pattern. And I love patterns. I do. That's why I'm drawn to buses because they have a pattern, they have a routine. Each hour, the bus is supposed to be at this stop at this particular time. Love patterns. Okay. And I can even notice when a pattern's out of sync or it's not correct. I was working at a Christian radio station back in California, and I was just walking through the lobby, minding my own business, and walking through the lobby, going to get something to drink. And they were playing back a commercial someone had produced. Wasn't going to be on the air yet, but somebody had produced. And the first time I heard it, I heard a mistake in it. Nobody else heard. The person who did the commercial gave the phone number for that you're supposed to call. Then when they repeated the phone number, they changed a couple of the digits at the beginning. Nobody heard it. I mentioned there's something wrong. And they said, what? And I told them, and then they had to hear it 3 times before they caught on to what I was hearing. And because I noticed that pattern was not the same and how they said the phone number. And that is not a negative. That's a positive. I saved that station from putting a commercial on the air that had a mistake in it that the sponsor could have said, I'm not paying for this. And they would have had to give them those commercials for free and have to redo that commercial. Well, they had to redo it anyway, but then they could have really upset a client. So pattern recognition in that case actually was a benefit. Authenticity. That's another trait that can be a unique strength for us who are autistic. Now, we may struggle with small talk. Okay, I hate small talk. It's like, oh my gosh, I can't stand the small talk. But we are likely to be honest and real when we interact with people. That makes our conversations meaningful and presents us as being trustworthy people. I really do not like small talk. I get flustered in it and all. I'm not good at it. And when I do talk for someone, I'm authentic. I'm truthful, and to the point that unfortunately, yeah, I've offended a few people with not intentional, but I'm just honest. We had some friends in California, and um, one of them asked me, do you have a problem? Some question like, do you have a problem with me or whatever? And I asked him, do you want me to be honest with you? Because I've learned people do not always want the honesties. People like polite answers. So I've learned that the hard way. He said, no, I want you to be honest with me. So I was honest. And he was unhappy that I was honest. And it bothered him. And he told his wife about it. Now, this man was also a minister. And I'm a pretty smart guy. I'm not going to lie to a man of God. But yeah, your honesty. Yeah, some people will see it as a weakness, but it's a strength because people know you're going to be telling them the truth. Another one of our unique strengths is sensory awareness. And this includes emotional and aesthetic depth. And I hope I'm pronouncing that word right, but we'll just go with it. Yes, it can be overwhelming, sensory awareness, but our heightened sensory perceptions can lead to creative genius, powerful emotional intuition, or deep aesthetic experiences. I am real good, and I think it's partially because of my autism and partially because I had a functioning alcoholic father, and at times you had to walk on eggshells around him. I can sense the feel of a room. And I can tell when a crowd is happy, a crowd is tense, what's going on. I can walk in a room and I can often sense that. And I really think that's one of my superpowers. It's a sensory awareness. So I don't go in the room and then say, hey, how's everyone doing? The heat's so warm today, you could die. You could have heat stroke and die. And walking in the room and not knowing somebody just lost a loved one. I can sense there's grief in the room. Or often I can. So that's a sensory awareness that I have. And the last one is loyalty and justice and fierce integrity. Now, if you have a strong sense of fairness and loyalty, that's a value system that drives advocacy, compassion, and leadership. Now, I am a person that integrity is very important to me. Okay. It is. It is one of my foundations in life. And I think it's a great quality. I wish more people had integrity. But some people say, well, that's kind of a liability having integrity because, well, I can't, I can't take advantage of a mistake at a store and get some free money as free merchandise or whatever. Okay. But it's really a good thing because now you're going to have the integrity to make sure you don't get into any trouble with the law. Now let's take a quick moment for reflection here, a reflection question here. I want you to think of a time when someone criticized one of your traits. Just think about it, okay? Now ask yourself, what value did that trait actually bring to the situation? And this is called reframing. It's reframing, and reframing is a first step to reclaiming or building your confidence. Now, I use some examples in here, like pattern recognition, how I recognized that phone number was different. Uh, and some of the other things that people may have said, wow, you're too analytical. You pay attention to patterns too much. You're obsessed with it. Well, I'm reframing it. It actually helped my employer save themselves from a financial problem. And by the way, I was just new there. I was so new. They asked, well, who found that mistake? And the receptionist who was talking to the person who produced the commercial said, the new guy. They did not even know my name yet. Okay. So let's talk about reframing and reflecting. Okay. So we take a misunderstood trait and find the value of it. That's what we're doing in this reflection moment. Okay. And which I kind of explain with the example of the pattern recognition. So another example would be too sensitive. You're deeply empathetic. Okay. Uh, deep down inside of me, I don't tell a lot of people this. I am very sensitive. Okay. I don't show it. Okay. I mask it. Okay. because I've been hurt so many times when I've been empathetic and sympathetic towards people. So I guard that a lot, but that is a part of who I am. I probably should unmask that and do that, show that more. Remember, your strengths are often hidden in plain sight. Just, you got to look for them, okay? That's what you got to do. Now, what makes you you? This is really an interesting part, okay? Embracing your strengths means knowing who you are, not who the world told you to be. So start with this simple truth. And this simple truth is you're allowed to love how your brain works. I'm going to repeat that. You are allowed to love how your brain works. So to help you embrace yourself and love how your brain works and accept and know what makes you use, here's a few things we can try doing. You can start a neurodivergent strength journal. This is something where you can write down one thing each day that you like about your autistic self. And when I say autistic self, I'm talking about maybe you found a pattern recognition or you're hyper focused, help you find a solution to a problem that nobody else could figure out. Use affirmations daily. An example of an affirmation would be, I don't need to be typical to be terrific. Or my brain my brain is wired for brilliance. I like that one. I like both of them actually. But yeah, affirmations. I love affirmations. Okay. I could go into a rabbit hole of looking at affirmations because they're so powerful and they can do so much to help you. Additionally, you can unmask with intention and authentically share your story. Tell your story in your own way. When I say your story, I'm talking about specifically your autistic journey, what your life is as an autistic adult. It helps you own your autistic journey and it allows others to connect with the real you because there's nothing wrong with the real you. Now, this is also about, let me get here. Okay, this is also about unmasking with intention. That's what we're talking about here. Not to be vulnerable for others, but to be at peace with yourself. So when we're unmasking, we need to remember we're not being vulnerable. Okay. I know some of us get scared about unmasking. I know I do. But it's not about being vulnerable. It's about being authentic selves because we're going to be most confident when we don't have to put on a mask, when we don't have to hide who we are and be our authentic selves. Now, confidence grows in celebration. So there's something I want you to know, and that's confidence comes from wholeness, not fixing. We're not broken. We don't need to be fixed. We're whole, we're complete the way we are, basically speaking. I mean, we all can do a little improvement. I mean, some of us, might be procrastinators. We may want to work on that. That's fine. But basically, we don't need to be fixed because we're autistic. Our wholeness, and once we embrace that, will help us be confident. Now, you do not build confidence by fixing yourself. We mentioned that a moment ago, but this is an important quote I want you to remember. Take a screenshot if you want. You don't build confidence by fixing yourself. You build confidence by owning your wholeness. And when I say your wholeness, you're accepting you for who you are. Okay? We're not perfect. We're human beings. Accept that and know. One of my favorite poems is I Am Me by Virginia Satir. I believe I'm pronouncing her last name correctly. And she talks about in this poem, we are uniquely who we are. And anything we don't like about ourselves, that we don't like, not what society does not like, what we don't like, we can change. Okay. And we own that wholeness. We can create that. Now, when we start to celebrate our unique strengths, a few awesome, amazing things will happen. You stop apologizing for who you are. Okay? Now, this can be a common thing that happens for those of us who are fawners. You've not heard that term. That means people pleasing. Okay? I know I do that in my life at times. I still do that today. I remember being told many times as a kid, I was always saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And people say, stop doing that. And that was me fawning. And you need to stop apologizing because you need to accept you for who you are. We're all imperfect human beings. We need to accept that about ourselves. So when you celebrate unique strengths, you will stop apologizing for who you are. You will attract people and opportunities that align with your authentic self. This is important, okay? What this means is this: when we are who we really are, the people who are going to understand us and accept us and love us, faults and all, will come towards us. But if we are being masking, posing, whatever you want to call it, right? We're going to attract the wrong people into our lives. And that mask and that posing, that impression, whatever you want to call it, that false you that you're presenting, you're not going to be able to maintain that all your life. Okay? You just won't be able to stay in character for that. And then that's going to cause lost friendships, betrayal, that kind of thing. You need to be your authentic self. And it's okay to be your authentic self. Another thing that happens when you celebrate your unique strengths is you start defining success on your own terms. And that's what we need to do. We don't need anyone else to tell us what success is. We get to define that for ourselves, okay? Don't let anyone tell you what success is. Everyone has their own definition of success. Determine what yours is and make that a goal of yours and work towards it. So, what does celebrating your autistic self look like? Great question. It can look like wearing your noise canceling headphones without shame. I have some blue noise canceling headphones that are Bluetooth. So because I like having music. Music helps me relax. And sometimes I listen to 80s music, which I'm doing right now through these headphones while I do this presentation. Or I'll listen to some comedy music, a big Weird Al Yankovic band. Or I listen to some relaxation music. There's a relaxation, autistic friendly music on Spotify that I listen to. And that helps with when I'm feeling anxious and I need to self regulate. I wear them in fact, I'm proud to wear them. I like, hey, look at me. I got my blue headphones on. And when I go out in public, I got my blue headphones on. I got a blue hat on. I got a blue shirt on. I got blue shorts on. I got a blue fanny pack on. My rollator is blue. My cell phone case is kind of a dark off blue, navy blue. So I'm all blue and people notice this about me now. But I'm proud to wear those headphones in public. I'm not ashamed of it. In fact, I've been wearing headphones since Walkmans came out, and because I want to work in radio. I love radio, and I love 80s music. And what I did not realize at the time, my wearing those headphones, not just because I love music, but it helped me filter out sound. And not the best idea back in the day. I'll admit it. I cranked it up more than I should have, and I'm paying for it now. But the point is, I've done that all my life, not realizing I was using this as a form of self-regulating. Another way that what celebrating your autistic self looks like is by talking about your special interests with joy, not embarrassment. Now, obviously, sometimes when we start talking about our special interests, for those of us who have special interests, many do on the spectrum, not everyone does. We probably know we bore the heck out of people, okay? But we are so passionate about it, and we share it with joy instead of being, I know this is gonna bore him. You just get into it and you're proud of it. Another thing that we do when we're celebrating our artistic self, what does celebrating your artistic self look like? Is we set boundaries unapologetically. We don't say things like, I'm sorry, I need you to turn down the music because I need you to turn down the music. Instead, we say, can you turn down the volume a little bit, please? It's causing me to feel disoriented or overwhelmed. And we don't apologize for it. We just be honest about it and polite. And that helps. That's another way that we're celebrating our autistic self, and that's what it looks like. And I did the wrong thing. Okay, there we go. Saying I'm autistic with pride. I I wear autistic clothing when I go places, and wherever I go, most of the time I'm wearing a shirt that has autism on it. Okay, and I have no problem telling people I'm on the spectrum. I'm proud of it. And the reason I'm proud of it is it the I know a lot of people don't like the puzzle piece symbol because of some connotations for some groups that have not many have felt had not represented autism properly. But to me, finding out I was autistic was a puzzle piece that made sense in my life. So I'm proud of it. Like, yeah, I'm autistic. I'm not a jerk. I'm not an idiot. I'm not an a-hole. I'm autistic. Now, I don't use it as a free pass to be a jerk or anything, but I'm proud of that I'm on the spectrum. And I feel it's important as a confident autistic and as an advocate for autistic adults to have that pride because it helps my confidence and it helps our community. And saying I'm autistic with pride is a way that you can celebrate your is a way that celebrating your autistic self looks like. I know that's not really well worded, but and it also helps build awareness in the community and being willing to talk about your autism experience with others. I've had the opportunity to do that a couple of times, and it's very empowering, and I love doing it. Now, I have a challenge for you. Okay, we the important thing I want you to know, my friend, is you are not a mistake. You are a masterpiece in challenge and progress. That is. So here's your challenge for this week. Choose one. I went the wrong way. Okay. Uh, Pick one trait or choose one trait that you struggle to accept and find a way to celebrate it. And that can be through talking about it, journaling it, or using it boldly in public and around others. That's my first challenge for you. And if you are ready, another thing you could do is affirm, I am a masterpiece in process. Use it as an affirmation statement. Say that to yourself. I am a masterpiece in progress. Let's say it together. I am a masterpiece in progress. Now, if you're ready to go deeper, and if you're ready to build your confidence from the inside out, and if you're ready to live confidently autistic, but not sure how, I have a resource for you. A good starting point is Live Confidently Autistic, a guide to understanding yourself and building confidence. It's a free 28-page PDF that I will give to you, okay? Doesn't cost you anything. You have to share your email address because I got to know where to send it to, okay? But in this 28-page PDF, it will empower you to embrace your neurodivergence with pride, overcome self-doubt, and build lasting confidence. Navigate life's authentically, that is, and unapologetically. Now, you can grab your free copy by scanning the QR code on the screen or by visiting theconfidentautistic.com. I'm going to put that link into the chat here in one moment. And it's also in the video description. You're watching this in archives. Do it now. Get that book now. Your future confident autistic self is waiting to thank you. So let me put that into the chat. And I see a lot of things coming into the chat here. So let me do that. And let's go into our Q&A. And let's first see what's on the chat. I'm going to try it this way. Give me one moment here. And I'm going to pull it up on my phone because it'll be easier for me to see. You go in here. Okay. And let me make sure I get this muted so we don't have feedback here. All right, here we go. Oops. I hate it when this happens. I don't know how to do this. No, I do, but okay, so more. Okay. Let's do it this way. I'm gonna look at the screen here and see what everyone is saying. So let's see what we have here. Okay. Oh, well, thank you. I'm very thorough. There isn't much room for questions. Awesome. Awesome. So I'm doing my job right. I feel good about this. Okay. Uh, let's see. I think the puzzle piece was the neurotypical's perception of autism. Another symbol should be chosen by autistics to represent themselves. Good point. What would you choose as a symbol to represent autism? I mean, I'm not asking you to create one and it may take a little while doing Canva or whatever. But what would you think that looks like? I mean, I know we have I call it the infinity loop. I know that that's kind of common, but that I think that's more for neurodivergence in here. So yeah, so what do you think it looks like? What will you put into it? I'm not sure what I would use. I don't. I like the neurodivergent, the infinity loop because it covers so many things. It does. It covers the entire spectrum and some other neurodivergent because autism is a form of neurodivergence. There's others as well, and I think that's a really great thing. What would now I know there's a ribbon, and I know butterflies have been used before. In fact, I did a video on some of the different symbols that have been used in the past for autism. So yeah, love to hear what your thoughts are. What you would design or what you recommend would be a great item for the for a symbol for autism. Okay, so yeah, love to hear that. So if you have an idea for that, that's super. If not, if there's anything else you'd like to ask about or talk about autism or um what's it called? Confidence building. I know my job, don't I? Yeah, shoot them in there. Love to hear from you. And this is my first night doing on Tuesday night. I'm looking at numbers here, and our numbers are looking better than normal. Maybe this is a better day to do them. I know they've been dipping down during the summer, and that's fine. But yeah, is this time Tuesday night working for you? We're gonna be trying these on Tuesday nights for some time and see how it goes. And I mean, I can't make a decision one week. It takes some momentum, but we're gonna be doing that. So yeah. Okay, we have something in here. Looks like, let me move this over. Move this over so I can see it. Okay. I think the infinity loop is pretty good. Maybe a rainbow colored fractal. Oh, that's interesting. A rainbow colored fractal. I like that. The thing is, and I'm not trying to say this to be mean, but I know the rainbow is often associated with LGBTQIA plus community or queer community. They keep adding letters, and it's fine. They want to. I'm cool with that. And I know that I don't know if it's significant, but there's a fair amount of people who are on the spectrum who are in that community, and I have nothing wrong with that. But and I like the idea of the rainbow, but I'm not sure if that's going to get confused with LGBTQ, IA plus, and all. I'm sorry, they're doing some work outside my house. I mentioned that earlier. We got a new roof put on today, and they're doing some work outside my house, and it's distracting me. My apologies for that. But I like that idea for it. Maybe a brain with different colors in it. That would be kind of cool. Now, the problem I have with multiple colors, and this with me is one of my sensory things. When there are too many colors, that's too much for me. I like one or two colors. Like if you see my logo for my business, which let's see if I can do this. Which let me see if I can pull this up here. I think I could do this. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I'm going to show you my logo for oops, that's the wrong one. For my business. There we go. And here, we'll do it this way. If you look in the lower right-hand corner of the screen, kind of covered a little bit with the thing that you can click on for the to subscribe to the YouTube channel. You see the hashtag DFYS, hashtag define yourself. And that's white, and it's usually against a blue background, or it's blue against a white background. I love blue. Blue is my favorite color, and it's a color that's often associated with autism. So I like simple colors. I don't like a lot of colors here. So and too many colors is this overwhelming to me. It's too cluttered. But that's basically what my logo looks like for my business. Simple colors, two colors, and multiple colors, and the too many, and then it gets jumbled. That's why I like neurodiverse toys, fidget toys, that kind of thing. But I like to get them to have one or two colors. Some of them look really cool, but they're like have a jumble of colors. That's way too much for me. So yeah, that's just me though. Everyone's different. The rainbow is similar to the infinity symbolism. I understand how it could be confused with the LGBTQ plus community symbolism. Yeah, yeah, I get that too. I that's one of my fears of it. I have nothing against the LGBTQ queer community. I think as we are autistics, we should have our own symbol. So our own uniqueness, our own branding and all, but each their own. So, and I bet you if we ask 100 people on the spectrum, we're going to get a variety of answers and won't get a concise one. And it's like, I don't really want to go through a big fight like that. I don't like fights. So I'm going to give you guys a couple more minutes. If you want to jump in and say anything, that's super. Otherwise, um, we'll just kind of start wrapping this up. I'm going to start wrapping it up right now, but go and put stuff in. I'll check the chat in a moment. Now it is your turn. If you did not join me live tonight, I missed you, but that's okay. Please share in the comment of this video, what does celebrating your autistic self look like? And if you're watching live, why don't we do that now? What do you think celebrating your autistic self looks like? And if you're watching in archive, share your thoughts in the video. And if you watch live, share them as well. I'd love to hear what you thought about them. And I'm going to go back and check the chat. Give it a moment, because I know there's a little bit of a delay between when I talk and when you guys get to hear me. So that's super. But yeah, to me is wearing my autism shirt, wearing my blue headphones, proudly telling people I'm on the spectrum, those kinds of things. And of course, doing the channel is important to me because it's the way I express myself. And it's a way that I get to help others, because helping people is one of my big passions. Living a strength focused life. I love that. I love that answer. Living in a strength focused life. That's the way we should live. We should be living life focusing in our strengths and not on our weaknesses, maybe not ignoring them. Like I mentioned earlier, maybe one of our weaknesses is we procrastinate. Don't want to ignore that, because we may want to improve that. But we want to make sure that we are focusing in our strengths, because when we focus on our strengths, we're going to embrace them. We're going to have pride in them, and it's going to build our confidence. When we focus on our weaknesses, we're going to be depressed. We're going to be down on ourselves. We're going to be hurting our self-confidence. So living a strength-focused life is a great plan to do. Love that idea. Now, as we wrap up tonight's event, I'd like to I would like to thank you for joining me on this video. And do not forget to join me next week. That would be July 22nd. And watch the channel because in a couple of days I'll have the topic up. I'm not quite ready to announce it yet, but we got another great presentation coming next week. And all of this starts at 7 p.m. Central Time right here on this YouTube channel. So be sure to subscribe to this channel. If you haven't already, subscribe. We want to get those numbers up, people. 257 last time I checked the number of subscribers. We want to get those numbers up. Subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your pets, whatever. Get the word out, okay? So be sure to subscribe to the channel and be sure that you turned on notifications by ringing the bell to be notified when I go live and when new videos are posted. Now, until next time, let me check the chat one more time. Until next time, I am the Confident Autistic, Chris Mitchell, hoping that you have a wonderful week, enjoying your summer, whatever you're doing. And I want you to remember, I am always here to help you live confidently autistic. I will see you next Tuesday night, if not before. Check out all the amazing videos I have on my YouTube channel. There's over 260. So go check those out. And if, well, not yet, but I mean, I'll be back next Tuesday night. So thank you for joining. And I'm going to put up on the screen here for a moment the QR code on how you get a free resource of Live Confidently Autistic, a guide to understanding yourself and building confidence, a 28-page free guide with reflection questions. So you're going to want to check that out. So until next week, have a wonderful evening. Thanks for checking this video out. And don't forget to subscribe and get your free gift. Have a wonderful evening. And remember, you should live life confidently autistic.